point-and-click adventures are a rare breed in the flood of modern video game releases. However, if you look hard enough, you're sure to find some hidden gems that will leave a lasting impression. That's how I came across the Theta Division developed VirtuaVerse, and I'm glad I did because its beautiful cyberpunk design was a great backdrop to the game's thought-provoking point-and-click elements. VirtuaVerse introduces us to Nathan. No, he's not the hero destined to save the world or out on a quest to bring justice to his neighborhood. Instead, he just woke up to discover that his VR glasses are broken and his girlfriend Jay is missing. The first puzzle is simple. Make it out of the house after Jay changed the code on you to slow you down from following her. The story evolves as you get things done. Sooner or later, you'll fix your glasses and find your girlfriend only to discover that she's part of this underground gang who aims to spark a digital revolution. It's way more complicated than that, but I think the way the story unfolds shouldn't be spoiled. The problem with this is how Nathan goes about getting what he wants. In order to do small tasks, he steals, cheats, and even has someone murdered if only to get inches closer to his goal. The believability of it all fades as somehow his girlfriend was doing all of this hacker gang stuff behind Nathan's back. I think the story gets far too flimsy and unrelatable, so looking at it under a microscope will only ruin the experience. The developers got really creative with how Nathan progresses the narrative. Where some point-and-click adventures have you complete areas one by one and never return to them, VirtuaVerse allows you to travel between them and use various tools collected in each. This introduces an entirely new layer of solving puzzles since you aren't confined to one screen. That said, VirtuaVerse gets somewhat cryptic and requires you to remember pretty much a lot of what NPCs say. The issue with this confusion is that it could all have been avoided using the game's digital watch that acts as a journal but is totally useless. I wish the developers used this journal to keep track of character profiles and where you are in the game or your progress towards finishing a puzzle. For instance, two characters mentioned that I should speak with people outside for more info, and then I couldn't trigger that conversation again to see if I missed something. I was left wandering around aimlessly until I realized that people were walking around in the foreground of the screen. Well, there's one person that has the answers for what you're looking for, but she shows up the least often. Had there been a note in my journal that says I should ask some random people outside questions about gangs, I would have saved about 30 minutes. Cryptic puzzle design aside, VirtuaVerse is brilliant in its concept. The game pushes you to think outside the box of point-and-click adventure norms, and forces you to dissect events and break them down to understand what really needs to be done. However, the number of items you have in your inventory is vast, which makes organization impossible. Nathan must have a ton of pockets because he can hold dozens of items at any given time. However, some items that you collect in the first 30 minutes won't be used until the second hour. It makes things feel extremely unorganized when trying to line up your items with the puzzles at hand. VirtuaVerse is a beautiful game with fantastic set pieces and impressive environments to explore. This is important given that you might be spending a lot of time in some of these sections. The themes of the environment also vary enough to make it feel like you aren't continually searching through the same areas. I really enjoyed how Nathan interacted with the NPCs and how they were each unique to the story. Music is a massive plus. Each track is blasting with retro synth waves that fuel the adventure. I should mention that there were times where the music would cut out on me randomly, but it only happened once or twice. I'd also like to add that I wish the VR glasses did a little more, like show you items that you can interact with instead of only showing you holograms. VirtuaVerse is an incredibly challenging point-and-click adventure that is targeted towards lovers of the genre. This allows the game to feature more complex puzzle designs, which will put player skills to the test. There's a real lack of direction as the developer doesn't fully take advantage of the features that they have, and the story is rather flimsy at times. But that doesn't take away from the satisfaction of getting through some of the more complicated puzzles. Noisy Pixel is giving VirtuaVerse a 7.5 out of 10. Thank you for watching. Please read the full review at noisypixel.net. Noisy Pixel is run by a group of gamers who work hard to deliver news, reviews, previews, and more. Please subscribe to keep up with all our future content.